Hey, this is Marilyn Gigliotti.
Hey, this is Brian O'Halloran.
Hey, everybody. My name is Scott Schiaffo, actor best known as the Chulies Gum Guy from the film Clerks.
And welcome to Clerks Minute.
You're listening to Clerks Minute.
And I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clerks Minute, the show where we break down the 1994 Kevin Smith classic, One J Stealing Food, minute at a time. I'm Blake.
I'm Kyle.
And on the line to finish up Star Wars week, we have the one and only from Star Wars Minute and the Godfather Minute, Alex Robinson. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hello, everyone. In podcast land.
Yes. Welcome to our show. And welcome to the end of Star Wars week, where we actually had Pete on our last episode, so this is pretty cool.
I'm the cleanup man.
Well, it is Friday in our world, so that's not a bad thing sometimes. We are here to talk...
and by the way, on a personal note, my uncle would have enjoyed the Godfather Minute.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, so did my grandfather. My grandfather's favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Sounds like your grandfather and uncle were like really cool that they got into podcasts. That's kind of unusual for
well, my
for
grandfather passed away a decade ago, but
and my uncle passed away last October.
But still, they would have. My grandfather though was a huge Godfather guy. Like he always joked about that it was home movies. So
did my grandfather actually. He came from Sicily when he was young.
How, did they grow up together, these two guys?
No, not even close.
Oh.
It's funny how that happens, you know? All right. So, we are talking about minute 32 of Clerks, where we are continuing our conversation about the contractors on the Death Star in Return of the Jedi. And we actually have the guy called Blue Collar Man talking to Dante and Randall on his opinion. First of all, Alex, where do you stand on the contractors on the Death Star in Return of the Jedi?
I guess, well, it's tough. I guess I kind of agree with Dante and Blue Collar Man in that, you know, you take the risks when you take the job. And I guess, because every time I've had to hire a contractor, it's been a horrible ordeal. So I guess I'm not so upset if a bunch of them get blown up in a Death Star. So no offense to any contractors out there. I'm sure there's plenty of wonderful contractors, but none of them I've worked with yet.
Yeah, we have a good one from our family that not in our family, but our family contractor, I should say, who's actually a really nice guy. He just came and took our fence down to help our neighbors out, which was nice.
Oh, see?
And we let the handy-mandy jokes fly fast and loose with this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick note, we have a 9-year-old little boy in this house, so he was obsessed with handy-mandy for a long time. So
was my uncle.
Well, it helps that we had a little boy in the house, so he was obsessed with it. So,
do you think Handy Mandy would have accepted the job working for the Empire?
No, he is way too good of a person for that.
Oh, okay.
I think the tools would have talked him out of it.
Yes, definitely. So we were in conversation. They were talking about in the movie about a what was it, Babyface Bambino?
Yes.
Kyle,
yes.
And we actually, I had to look it up because I really wanted to know if this is based on a real person. And yes, there is indeed a Babyface Bambino Nelson that was based in Chicago. Weirdly enough, who was a gangster and a bank robber. He was killed at the age of 25, but he was a gangster out of Chicago. So I think this is what this is based out of.
Well, wait a minute. So does that mean was Blue Collar Guy referring to a job in Chicago, or does it match up the dates and stuff?
It's weird because this is based in like the 30s. The guy that. Oh, okay,
yes. Maybe he's an immortal contractor.
Yeah, I have the feeling that Kevin Smith just saw the name somewhere and just like, you know what, that actually makes a great gangster name.
It's like in Hamilton where Lin-Manuel Miranda saw the name Hercules Mulligan. He's like, I have to use that name. It makes absolutely no sense to the story, but I have to use the name.
Why the hell not? That's an awesome name.
Plus, it was before the internet, so it's not like anyone could have looked it up, unless you had like a gangster encyclopedia at home or something. So he was probably pretty safe.
And you know what? It's good to know that I think in the 90s there was no such thing as gangsters encyclopedias. So we also were noticing in the background of this that out of nowhere, Jay was popping up in the background, and we're like, what is he doing? He's sneaking food in the background of this conversation.
He's opened a package of those little donuts, and you see him cut to him occasionally stuffing one in his mouth.
Oh, before the donuts, I think he was eating a cream puff before the donuts, which was weird. And for some reason, even though we're based in New Jersey, he was wearing a San Jose Sharks hat, and I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah. Oh, my uncle had the shirt for a longest time because he liked the logo.
Well, I was just wondering, because we're based in New Jersey, and the guy, like, Blue Collar Man's wearing a Yankees hat. We had someone wearing a Devils hat earlier. We're having someone later in the movie wearing a Devils jersey, yet we're representing San Jose, California, which is random.
Why not? Variety.
Well, do we know what Jay's, like, background is? Like, maybe his parents are from San Jose, or he lived there for a while, or visited there, or something? Do we know anything about that?
Well, as far as I know, if you're basing it on the real Jay Muse, he's actually younger than Silent Bob in the movie, and they were actually, if you based it off of what was it, Jay and Silent Bob get Silent Bob Straight Back?
Yeah,
they actually grew up together, so they're obviously from the same area. Maybe it's one of those things where he just liked the logo, because if I'm right, the San Jose Sharks, the San Jose Sharks had just came into existence, I think, in 1993. If I'm right in my hockey history, and I'm usually pretty good about that.
Sort of like how I didn't live in Anaheim, but I had a Mighty Ducks hat for.
Well, I blame that on the movie. I blame that more on the movie than even the hockey team.
Yeah.
But yeah,
plenty of blame to go around.
Well, the San Jose Sharks, they started in 1993. They filmed this in 1993, so that ties in together. Maybe they just really want to represent a brand new team.
Yeah. Well, he is a giant hockey nut, so.
True. This is very, very true.
Do you think Jason Mewes is the kind of guy who was like asking Kevin Smith, like, why am I wearing a jersey? Like, what's my motive? What's the story of my character, and like getting behind it, or did he really not care?
You know what's funny about Jason, and I know this actually from reading one of Kevin Smith's books. Jay, believe it or not, and this is not a joke, he was actually nervous in front of the camera for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard to believe when you think about Jay Mewes now. But he was absolutely terrified in front of the movies where there are scenes where it's just him and Kevin on the screen, and they left the camera roll and everybody went inside because he would not perform in front of people.
Wow.
Of course, nowadays you can't get him to stop performing.
Yeah, we went to a Jay and Silent Bob Get Old podcast recording, and that guy is a lunatic now.
And too funny to never bring up more than once. Boy, he was obsessed with the bronze fonts.
Yes, that's true. He spent almost the entire hour-and-a-half podcast obsessing with that, with like various.
And one of the positions in Let Us Fuck.
Okay, let me explain that first.
Yeah.
There's a segment at the end of Jay and Silent Bob Get Old where they actually do Let Us Fuck, where they bring up people from the crowd and they do air sex on stage.
Yeah, I guess he overcame his shyness.
Yes, but it's not basic positions. They make up things, and then Jay improvs them. It's absolutely hysterical. And this is the first time I've ever seen it in person. Was this one? And go ahead, Kyle, back to you.
And one of them was something on the bronze font.
It's so ridiculous, but it's made for some hysterical pictures. I have some pictures from this event that's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I have the feeling they had to make sure that he wasn't smuggling out parts of the actual bronze fonts when they left the town.
If I also remember right, at this point, Jay Mewes did not have any kind of a drug problem yet.
Yeah.
In the real world.
Knowledge.
Well, I'm basing this on Kevin's books. Any knowledge I'm saying come out of Kevin's biographies. I have 2 of his biographies. And as far as I know, Jay didn't have any drug problems yet. That didn't happen until, I think, Mallrats.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it ties in. He got a little older, and then Kevin left for a bit, and he came back, and Mallrats would be the movie that, even though if you listen to the commentary track of this movie, the original one, not the second version, the first version, I think Jay fell asleep.
Didn't he pass out drunk?
Yeah, I think he was actually drinking, and he passed out on the commentary track.
Wow.
Which is weird.
That might have been a warning sign.
Yes, that's for sure. So, Alex, I have a question for you. I asked this to Pete too.
Yes.
Where do you rank Return of the Jedi with the big original trilogy?
I would say I pretty much go in release order. I would say Star Wars is my favorite, Empire's next, and Jedi is a fairly distant third.
Fairly distant third
of the three movies.
I'm in that camp where I don't hate Jedi as much as most people do. I don't see as much of an issue with it as most people have with it.
I love the fact that for some reason people hate the Ewoks. I freaking love them because they actually managed to help take down some rather high-tech stuff using only rocks and sticks, mainly because the Empire was not expecting this.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that as evidence. I would put that as evidence the other way. Yeah. The fact that the Ewoks were able to beat this gigantic army, which had been subjugating the whole galaxy, and now suddenly, but these guys, these Ewoks take them down. But I don't hate Return of the Jedi. It's just compared to the other two, it's just there's just a lot of sluggish parts that you're kind of waiting around.
A valid point. I mean, it's not. I always say, as part as the slow Return of the Jedi could be, it's not nearly as bad as like Attack of the Clones, which I know you guys had finished up doing on Star Wars Minute. I felt bad for you guys halfway through that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
It was an interesting experience. I don't regret it. It made me appreciate certain things more about Attack of the Clones that I would not have. Same thing with Return of the Jedi. Doing it minute by minute made me appreciate the good parts more and kind of forgive the bad parts. Although Attack of the Clones, that droid factory scene is
Although
2 weeks of that.
Although speaking of Lucas, one I would love to see go through minute by minute would be Radioland Murders.
Wow.
Yeah,
never seen it.
That's a pull.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's another one of those that my uncle and I saw.
The movie? I don't know the movie. I don't know it either.
What it is? It's a movie from 1994. Lucas came up with a story. It actually was. He was actually supposed to do that after American Graffiti. It has to do with a radio station in 1939 that's launching to become the fourth major network. And on the night of the premiere, in addition to all the chaos that one would expect happening on a opening night, members of the staff start dropping dead. So it's up to the head writer and his wife to try and figure out who's killing everyone and why.
Wow, that actually sounds interesting. I'm not going to lie. I've never heard of that movie until now.
It was one of those where it came and went rather quickly and got savaged by the critics, but it's one of those where when you sit down and watch it, you wonder why this got savaged, because it's actually an incredibly funny movie. Got a very top-notch cast including George Burns in his last film role, and it's because it's a nice little nod to all of the screwball slapstick comedies of the 30s.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And this is why.
When was the last time you saw it?
Recently, a couple of days ago, I had ripped it from a DVD copy that I got to my PSP, and I watched it at work.
And it holds up.
Yes, very much so.
Well then, I've never heard of this till now, and this is why I have him as my co-host. He pulls these out like I've never heard of this, and he just pulled this out like this.
Would you be interested in me lending you my copy?
And you can add it to the list of movies you've offered me when I add it to my list after I have the time.
Okay.
I always tell you. So anyway, moving on. The only other note I have in here, we are obsessed with the background stuff and like prices of things and the backgrounds. And we saw a sign in the back. I wrote it down. It said, the nuts and fruit snacks are 2 for $1. Which is actually reasonably priced.
For a convenience store, yes.
Yes, definitely. we got obsessed. I think it was recently there's a board right behind Blue Collar Man with all the prices of the cigarette prices and the sodas prices and everything. We got really obsessed with that because we realized how ridiculous the cigarette prices are now compared to then.
I see visions in the years to come. You will pay $150 for a pack of cigarettes, and we. Oh no! It's
$150.
Oh wait, no! You will pay $10 for a pack of cigarettes and weep hot tears for yesterday.
Yeah, I should make a note that he works in a casino and they legitimately have a $10
a pack
vending machine, a $10 vending machine for cigarettes. There's no change.
So smokers, if you come to Pato, enjoy getting rammed up the ass for cigarette prices.